Good morning, welcome back to the channel. What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time, but we're back with another reacts. I'm just trying to get some content out, boys. You know it's been a fat minute since I've posted anything, so we're back on the grind. I hope everybody's been alright. Without further ado, my friends, let's get straight into the motherfucking video. Alright, my friends, today we're checking out a video documenting a Texas tornado that happened a few years ago. It's that time, it's spring break, my friends. We're getting into the season. Boys, I do live in Tornado Alley, so it's something that I always got to pay attention to, the weather. Without further ado, my friends, let's check out the video.
James LeDoux and his son Dylan are chasing a storm in rural Texas when it begins to produce a tornado. Closing in on the town of Matador, the two men watch as the monstrous tornado emerges from the rain and pulls right behind them. Little did they know, they were filming an unseasonably strong and deadly vortex.
Couldn't tell if that was a smudge or the tornado.
Matador, Texas are doing the usual rural Texan activities, tending to livestock, harvesting crops for the summer, and doing pretty much anything to beat the heat. A couple hundred miles away in Oklahoma, the National Weather Service is doing their typical duties as well, monitoring weather models for ingredients that would create severe weather, and they've been pretty busy as multiple rounds of storms in the past weeks have affected the United States, dropping incessant tornadoes, hail, and wind. They identify that another strong storm system is preparing to impact the United States. Because of this, they highlight a risk area accordingly. The thing is,
barely in
Matador, Texas is right here, away from any predicted storms. As the day draws closer, the National Weather Service hones in on the forecast, placing a 2% risk near the border of Colorado and Wyoming, almost 600 miles away from Matador. No one in or around the town is expecting any significant weather, much less a tornado. It's peak afternoon in Texas, and the sun is pushing a staggering 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Unbeknownst to locals, the sunny skies were actually a menacing sign. You see, as the sun heats up the air, the atmosphere builds up instability, or the potential energy for strong storms. Near Matador, the instability is reaching absurd amounts. For reference, the typical level of instability needed for storms is around 1,000 joules per kilogram, and by the afternoon, North Texas was pushing almost 6,000 joules per kilogram. This potential
That's a lot of joules. Shout out all the joules out there.
But a bomb is useless without a fuse, and that's what weather forecasters were banking on. I mean, there weren't even any storms around. And that's exactly when the first storm formed. Bits of rain begin to bubble up near Pampa, Texas, growing rapidly. More storms begin to pop up and immediately show signs of rotation on radar. Almost as if some unseen force is powering them. They begin merging together into one much larger storm and are moving to the south, an unusual direction for thunderstorm motion. The storms continue to try and rotate, getting closer and closer with each frame, until suddenly a new storm bursts over Turkey, Texas. And in just a few seconds becomes the fastest rotating of the bunch. Without any warning, a funnel cloud descends from the sky. It's hardly visible before rain and fog obscures it from view, but the tornado is absolutely strengthening. Storm chaser Russ Contreras approaches from the south, and with little time to spare, begins filming the tornado.
Oh shit. That don't look like anything you want to fuck with.
The tornado is actually visible here, and way larger than previously thought. Cranking the video's contrast, we can observe that it has transitioned into a strong wedge tornado.
Oh, what the hell? I didn't know you could fucking do that. That's actually pretty sick.
Buried in the rain, its movement is slow.
That's some tech right there, Chad.
Per hour. It's very slowly ripping any trees or grass that would get in its way. Luckily, though, it's essentially dancing in an open field, away from anybody or anything. As if the visibility of the tornado wasn't bad enough, it begins to absorb more rain and become even hazier, making it completely invisible to anyone on the ground. At the same time, the track deviates slightly to the east. This is an indication that the tornado is occluding. A tornado occlusion is essentially when the storm decides to form a new area of rotation, and the old area, including the tornado, detaches from the main portion of the storm, ultimately dying. While this should be good news for the town of Matador, the seclusion is behaving in an incredibly dangerous way.
I guess not, because there's a fucking video about
Giant
it.
wedge tornado is now seen to be shrinking in width, but the energy is not dwindling. Just like an ice skater pulling their limbs closer inwards to spin faster, the shrinking has an added effect of making the tornado spin faster.
Damn!
Meteorologist Braden
That's a good
Barton
analogy.
and his friend are situated to the east of town, where the tornado can be seen entering the town from the south.
Shit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Big tornado.
There's a big tornado.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can
Why are
see
these
it.
videos such low quality and it's
Big tornado.
2023? The hell?
Big tornado.
It's a big tornado.
What a beautiful morning, boys.
That's it right there.
Chat, I just got me a new motherfucking job. We're working overnights, so the new schedule is a lot fucked up.
Just hang straight for the town. That's it right in front of us.
We are, we're getting off work every morning at 7 in the morning.
Suddenly, the ground.
Obviously, obviously we're off today. So that's why we're on the motherfucking grind getting this content out, chat. I know it's such good content. I'm working so hard for this shit, boys. I know y'all love it.
begins to be stripped away. As the tornado becomes stronger and stronger, it's able to gouge the ground, even scouring the top layer of soil, something only seen in some of the strongest possible tornadoes. Something is very different from what we saw just a few moments ago. The storm is also moving dangerously close to Matador and continues to shrink. In fact, the difference in winds is so extreme, a home just over 200 yards away is unscathed. Sadly, this would not be the case for other homes in the direct path, such as the Marshall family home, which was about to take a direct hit. The devastation to the property starts with the tree line to the north. Large oak trees and low-lying shrubbery are beyond
Gone.
shredded.
Oh my
Rather,
gosh.
they're violently mangled and torn out of the ground. Some are fully stripped of their bark. Next is the barn on the property, which is practically disintegrated, and a small stone outhouse is sheared to the ground. That's right, a pure stone structure is sheared away by just the winds. Sadly, the only thing left to hit is the home itself. As the Marshalls hide in the basement, the entire home is shredded above them. Cars are lifted into the air like toys, and they disappear into the funnel. In some miracle, they all survive, most likely due to being underground, but pretty much none
no
of their
doubt.
property is
Damn!
left.
Holy shit. Chat, that shit's gone. There's nothing there.
In fact,
Just
not even
foundation.
trees remain, as they are stripped out of their root systems and tossed off the property
He
like
said
it's
that
nothing. If
it
this couldn't
pulled
get
the
any
bark off
wilder,
some of the trees, which
portions
is-
of the concrete
what the
foundation
fuck?
and sidewalk are cracked and shifted. Basically, all that remains of the Marshalls' entire livelihood is the basement they hid in. The tornado is continuing towards Matador.
That's
and still
EF5,
shredding
isn't
the
it?
top
Doesn't
layer
that
of grass and soil.
make that
One of the
EF5?
Marshalls' cars is thrown to the ground here, with the tornado heaving it over 200 yards from its original location. Scientist and National Weather Service employee James Ledoux and his son, Dylan, are chasing the storm and begin to drive south, noticing the funnel is almost entirely wrapped in rain. As they situate themselves in the center of town, the rain slightly clears out. The twister is now
shit.
dangerously close to the town,
Yeah,
and it is
it's-
only now that it is brushing the north edge and destroying homes that the local tornado sirens sound. From James's account, this only gave around 4 minutes of lead time to the approaching threat, which may have had implications to people affected later on.
Anybody watching this video ever had to hear the sirens before?
Is this going into town?
I have in my town. We have in this little city.
Or just...
I only remember one time though. But let me know
A
down in the
home
comments if
not even
anybody's
in the
seen a
direct wind
tornado
field
or had to
sees the
experience that
effects of
shit.
the funnel next, with solely 2 rooms left standing in the entire home. It dodges another home to the right, whose roof is ripped away, with the outhouse on the property sucked into the core of the tornado and shredded to bits. These chunks of the home leave divots in the ground as they are slammed down at violent speeds. The tornado is finished sparing homes now, as the house of Anthony Boyd is next. Anthony rushes down to a storm shelter he had put prior, most likely saving his life, as the tornado rips through his home. Once again, trees on the property are debarked, mangled, and denuded, and hardly anything is spared on the
Denuded.
property, including his
Holy
blue
shit.
pickup truck, which was completely lofted away. After the tornado passed, Anthony found he was trapped in his storm shelter, but remained hopeful that help would arrive. But when search and rescue officials came to his property and noticed there was no vehicle to be found, they assumed no one was home at the time Anthony's friend had to free him, and after looking around, Anthony realized his truck was genuinely nowhere to be found.
No
It wasn't
way.
until the next day that Anthony would discover his car half a mile away in an open field. This is what it looked
Fuck,
like.
oh my
In the
gosh.
hundreds of recorded cases of tornado damage, this kind of vehicle mangling is practically unheard of, reserved only for the likes of some of the most violent tornadoes ever recorded. And it gets crazier, as it was discovered the entire engine of the truck was missing. Later, it was found to have been tossed into a nearby lake in the opposite direction. James and Dylan are now driving perpendicular to the vortex, which is beelining directly for them. The tornado barely fits in Dylan's frame.
What's that?
Holy fuck.
It's right there, Dad. Dad, it's right there.
Yeah,
Go.
I see it.
They're beating it. They're just driving right past it.
As they turn to escape
That's so
south,
crazy.
their dash cam captures the monster tornado directly behind them.
That's crazy. Holy cow.
Go. Go.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
The tornado is continuing to the south
Gonna hit that
and now
gas
approaching
station.
the intersection of Highway 62 and Highway 70, where multiple homes and businesses are set up. The devastation is about to worsen. In the direct path, the home of Matador's mayor, Devana Grundy, sits. The property consists of 6 separate structures, including the main home, pool, and outbuildings for farming. In a split second, every single building would be gone, with hardly any debris left
Damn.
over. 2 homes to the south of Grundy's were reduced to bits as well. Remarkably, others' homes, just 50 yards away, are completely fine, with the worst damage being to shingles on the roofs. The vortex was tightening up to an
Insane.
extremely intense and sharp core. Another home is hit to the south, with nothing left. The slab is basically swept clean, approaching Highway 62. Actual businesses are now in the firing line. A small industrial storage building is shredded away, littering the scene with sheet metal and shrapnel. As the core crosses the highway, chunks of the asphalt are ripped out of the ground, and dirt and debris is embedded into the
Asphalt
pavement.
is pulled off the
Unfortunately,
fucking
the
ground?
Matador tornado would claim its first life in this location. 59-year-old Randy Rowland, a semi-truck driver from Oklahoma, was taking cover inside his truck in the parking lot of a gas station right off the highway, when suddenly his truck was violently lofted and slammed back into the ground across the street. The truck was left completely gutted in the process, and Randy was ejected from the vehicle. After attempting to stand up, Randy fell back to the ground, and sadly, he passed away in an ambulance en route to the hospital. Randy was described as a great husband, father, brother, and a great friend to everyone who will forever be missed. Nearby, 2 men, Troy Hernandez and Victor Valenzuela, were stationed in a small work RV as part of a job nearby Matador. With no place to go, the trailer was lifted as well, with the 2 men in it, and slammed into a nearby home.
Oh,
Both
fuck.
men passed away as well. They were
Yeah,
described
man.
as wonderful individuals to be around and to work with. The home their RV impacted
Shit has
did not
no
survive
mercy.
either, being completely wiped away. A storm shelter on the property likely saved the homeowners' lives, but the worst damage of all on the highway had to be the brand new Dollar General location. Built just a couple months prior, the structure was completely flattened. Portions of the support beams that were anchored and drilled into the concrete slab were bent and yanked out. The strangest part of this location, though, were the rebar reinforced concrete bollards surrounding the building. Somehow, the tornado was able to snap the solid concrete and metal at the base. One can only imagine the winds required for something like that to occur.
That's
The
fucking
last structure to
crazy.
be impacted along the highway was actually the town's electrical substation, sustaining EF3 damage to the main portion of the station. The scene from above looked like a bomb was dropped on the road, with incredibly prolific damage and death at the location of the highway. Somewhere along the path of damage, multiple vehicles were picked up and mangled beyond recognition. Found in a pond was another truck engine. It belonged to an unrecognizable ball of steel
Oh
in the
my
pond, which
gosh.
was wrapped around another used-to-be vehicle. Southeast of the pond is the home of Joe and Dale Bumgardner. They
Joe
are
and
about
Dale?
to sustain another direct impact. Sadly, with nowhere else to go in the time that the sirens went off, they decided to hide in the most interior room of their home, but no structure could protect the two from such a violent tornado, as the entire home is wiped away. Storm chasers Val and Amy Castor quickly flip from chase mode to search and rescue as they stumble upon the mess that used to be the home of the Bumgarners. While they were able to rescue Dale from the rubble, Joe, on the other hand, would not make it. Joe was a member of multiple organizations, taught in the school system for 27 years, and was described as loving, especially to the young people of the area. Her nickname was Nana Joe. She loved her life and the people of Matador. After the home, the tornado began to shrink faster. It impacted the radio tower, sending it crumbling to the ground, as well as completely demolishing one last home before dissipating in an open field. James and Dylan capture the tornado roping out before finally disappearing into nothing once again.
Golly.
Let me get
It's one fucking relentless tornado.
Roping out now.
Roping out, that's insane.
As rescue teams and weather enthusiasts alike
The
began
tornado
streaming
crazy.
into the area, the sheer strength of the tornado was realized. Large mesquite trees, some of the strongest in the world, were debarked, sanded, and mangled like toothpicks. Vehicles were tossed like toys, and homes were completely slapped. But not all was lost. Initially, the tornado had aimed directly for the center of town, where hundreds of homes and businesses stood. Though, even by just sideswiping the area, the death and devastation remained. Surveyors from the National Weather Service and Texas Wind Institute settled on an EF3 rating for the town.
EF3?
This caused a lot of controversy, as some claimed it was a gross underestimate of such a violent tornado. But more importantly was the issue of the sirens and why they didn't go off until the tornado
You said
was
4
well into
minutes
town.
before it
Maybe
hit
if the
town.
sirens sounded earlier, there would have been more time for the affected to find appropriate shelter, as multiple storm shelters were in Matador. There are also multiple questions to be asked about how the entire risk area was missed. At the very last second, the National Weather Service did upgrade to a small 5% risk around Matador, but that was essentially after the tornado was on the ground.
man, that's
Whatever the case may
fucking
be,
crazy
the
ass
Matador
shit.
tornado was a devastating and alluring disaster, and the areas and people affected still struggle to recover to this day.
Well, chat, W motherfucking video, man. If y'all enjoyed the reacts, don't forget to drop a like, comment down below what y'all are trying to see me react to next. Chat, like I said, I did get a job, so we're actually on schedule now. I go live every single day from 8 in the morning to around noon. Don't miss out, boys. Without further ado, I hope everybody has a great day, night, morning, whatever time it is y'all are watching. Peace out, you fucking druggers.